Consider the weight of a handful of cold, wet clay, a material that has sheltered humanity for over 6,000 years. In the quiet corners of the past, the architecture of the common person was not built of monumental stone, but of the very earth beneath their feet. This was a world where homes were grown and harvested rather than manufactured, creating a landscape in perfect harmony with nature. To understand wattle and daub is to understand the slow, rhythmic pulse of the medieval landscape and the people who inhabited it. It is a craft of extreme patience, requiring a deep, intuitive connection to the seasonal cycles of the forest and the fallow field. Every motion is deliberate, every choice of material dictated by the wisdom of countless generations who knew how to balance strength with flexibility. We begin our journey at the edge of a damp, ancient woodland, where the morning mist clings heavily to the silver bark of hazel and willow trees. Here, the raw materials for the wattle are selected with a practiced eye for the specific qualities of flexibility, age, and internal strength. The wood must be young enough to bend without snapping, yet old enough to provide a sturdy frame for the heavy mud to follow. The sound of a sharp billhook striking a branch is crisp and rhythmic, echoing slightly through the cathedral-like stillness of the surrounding trees. Each rod is carefully trimmed, its length measured not by a ruler, but by the span of a man's reach or the height of a specific timber frame. A bundle of these supple woods is gathered, smelling of fresh rain and the green, living heart of the tree. Back at the building site, the timber frame of the house stands waiting, a skeletal grid of massive oak beams that smells of sap and seasoned heartwood. The air is cool and still, and the only sound is the distant chatter of a stream and the soft rustle of the leaves overhead. This frame is the foundation of the home, but it is the wattle and daub that will provide the warmth and the protection. Vertical staves are the first elements to be installed, wedged firmly into pre-cut grooves, or V-drops, within the massive oak frame. These uprights are usually made of oak or ash, providing the structural backbone for the intricate weaving that is soon to follow. They stand like silent sentinels, waiting to be bound together by the flexible hazel rods. One by one, the horizontal rods, known as withies, are woven in and out of the vertical staves in a pattern that resembles a giant basket. The wood resists slightly, creaking and groaning as it is forced into a gentle curve, creating a natural tension that gives the wall its remarkable resilience. This tension is the secret to the wall's strength, allowing it to move with the house as it settles over the centuries. The motion of the weaver is repetitive and deeply meditative, over one stave, under the next, then back again in the opposite direction. It is a slow progress, a steady growth of a wooden tapestry that glows pale gold in the soft light of the late afternoon. Gradually, a dense and beautiful lattice emerges, a testament to the intersection of human ingenuity and the raw offerings of the forest. This is the wattle, a flexible mesh that can withstand the settling of a house or the buffeting of the most severe high winds. It is a structure that is both light and strong, a perfect skeletal support for the heavy skin of the earth. Now we turn our attention to the preparation of the daub, a mixture as ancient and enduring as the very hills from which its ingredients are drawn. A shallow pit is dug into the heavy clay soil near the building site, and water is added until the earth becomes a thick, malleable sludge. This is the base of our wall, a material that has been used by builders since the dawn of civilization. To this wet clay, we add generous amounts of chopped straw or hay, which acts as a vital binder, providing internal reinforcement much like the steel rebar in modern concrete. The smell is earthy, sweet, and surprisingly pleasant, reminiscent of a dry barn in the height of a long summer. The straw prevents the clay from cracking too severely as it dries, holding the mass together in a unified whole. A small amount of animal hair or even manure is often mixed in, an addition that might seem strange to modern ears, but provides essential flexibility and binding properties. The manure contains enzymes that help the clay bind, while the hair provides thousands of tiny anchors within the mixture. The ingredients are trodden together by foot, a slow and cooling process that ensures every fiber is perfectly coated in the heavy clay. The resulting mixture is heavy, dense, and cold, a malleable paste that clings to the skin and demands a deliberate, steady pace of work. The first fistful of daub is pressed firmly into the wattle lattice, the clay oozing through the narrow gaps to wrap securely around the hazel rods. This creates a mechanical bond, a key that will hold the heavy wall in place once it begins the long process of drying. You can feel the resistance of the wood and the yielding nature of the mud as they become one. Work proceeds from the bottom of the wall panel upward, layer by layer, as the rhythmic slapping of mud against wood becomes a steady, hypnotic pulse. The world beyond the wall seems to fade away, leaving only the sensation of the clay and the sound of your own steady breath. Each handful of earth is a commitment to the stability and the future of the home. As the daub fills the gaps, the hollow resonant sound of the wooden weaving is replaced by a solid, dull thud, signaling the growing density of the structure. The wall begins to take on a smooth, undulating form, following the natural and slightly irregular contours of the woven wood beneath. Your fingers trace the surface of the wet wall, smoothing out the rough patches and ensuring an even, protective thickness across the entire panel. The cooling moisture of the mud is incredibly soothing against the palms, providing a grounding connection to the primal elements of earth and water. In this moment, the boundary between the builder and the building seems to dissolve into a singular purpose. The texture is creamy and dense, a surface that will soon become as hard as stone. The air in the room begins to change noticeably as the wet walls pull the ambient heat from the atmosphere, creating a cool, humid sanctuary. In the absolute silence of the building, you can almost hear the clay settling, a microscopic shift as the particles bond and the water begins to evaporate. It is the sound of a house becoming a home, a transition from raw materials to a finished shelter. Now begins the long, slow wait for the wall to dry naturally, a process that can take several weeks depending on the dampness of the season. During this time, the dark, wet clay will slowly lighten in color, turning from a deep chocolate brown to a soft, dusty ochre. You must watch the wall daily, observing its changes and tending to it as it cures in the open air. Small, thin cracks may appear as the water slowly leaves the mixture, but these are simply signs of the natural material breathing and finding its final shape. These fissures are easily filled with a bit more wet daub, a testament to the forgiving and infinitely repairable nature of this ancient craft. There is no failure in these cracks, only the house settling into its permanent place in the world. Finally, once the daub is dry and firm to the touch, the wall is sealed with a protective wash of lime, a brilliant white liquid made from burnt limestone. This lime wash is applied in sweeping, circular motions, transforming the earthy brown panel into a clean, luminous surface that reflects the light. The lime acts as a natural disinfectant and a weatherproofing agent, protecting the mud from the driving rain. This white finish reflects the soft light of the evening, brightening the interior of the timber-framed room with a gentle, diffused glow that feels ancient and safe. The texture of the wall is now firm and stone-like, yet it retains a warmth and an organic quality that no modern drywall can replicate. It feels substantial, a barrier that has been built to last for many lifetimes. Standing before the finished wall, you realize that this structure is more than just a simple shelter. It is a living history of the local land. The hazel from the nearby woods, the clay from the adjacent field, and the straw from the last harvest have all been woven together. Every inch of this wall was shaped by a human hand, guided by a mind that was focused and present in the moment. The weight of the modern world seems to settle and vanish as you lean against the solid, cool surface of the completed daub panel. There is a profound and lasting peace in the knowledge that these simple materials will endure for centuries, weathering the storms of time with quiet grace. This is the architecture of endurance, built without machines and without noise. As the sun dips below the horizon, the shadows in the room lengthen, dancing across the subtle, beautiful imperfections of the handcrafted wall. The cooling air carries the faint, clean scent of lime and dried hay, a perfume of stability, safety, and home. The house feels as though it has grown out of the earth itself, rooted and unshakable. You can feel your own heartbeat slowing to match the deliberate, slow pace of the craft you have witnessed through the hours. The frantic, nervous energy of the modern day dissolves into the steady, enduring presence of the earth, the wood, and the lime. There is nothing to rush toward and nothing to flee from in this space of ancient stillness. Close your eyes and imagine the countless centuries of people who have slept soundly behind such walls, protected from the winter wind and the autumn rain. Their rest was deep and undisturbed, anchored by the literal solidity of the mud and the flexed strength of the hazel weave. They were connected to their world in a way we are only beginning to remember. The silence of the house is now absolute, a heavy, comforting blanket that wraps around your senses and draws you gently towards sleep. Every beam, every woven rod, and every single handful of clay contributes to this atmosphere of profound and holy stillness. The house is a vessel for quiet, a sanctuary built of earth and effort. Let the image of the drying wall linger in your mind, a pale, textured surface, catching the very last of the light before fading into the soft grey of dusk. There is nothing left to do, no more clay to mix, no more rods to weave. The great work of the day is entirely complete. Your mind can finally rest, knowing the structure is sound and the night is peaceful. Sink deeper into the softness of your own surroundings, carrying the heavy, grounding peace of the wattle and daub with you into the dark. The materials of the world are at rest, and so are you. The rhythm of the craft remains as a lingering echo, a slow, steady pulse that guides you further into the warm shadows of rest. Sleep now as the thick walls of history stand watch, timeless and unmoving in the velvet dark of the room. The ancient world is silent, the work is finished, and you are safe within its enduring embrace. The journey through the wood and the clay has reached its end, leaving you in a sanctuary of quiet and rest. Sleep comes easily now, as natural and inevitable as the drying of the clay and the turning of the tide. Discover more history by watching the next video. We're eager to share more with you. You can't go wrong. All our videos are deeply detailed, dull while fascinating, and distinctly sleep-inducing.